Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Shadow and Sun Show, and welcome to part 3 of the oldest, or the first printed module for Dungeons and Dragons, for role-playing in general, I guess. That being the Misty Isles, originally put out by We Warriors, now brought to you by Precis, Precis, Intermedia, www.pigamez.net. I'll show you where you can find this later. From the creators of Palace of the Vampire Queen and the Dwarven Glory, designed for use with the original edition rules set. This kit provides brief descriptions of the peoples and events for all 9 islands in the Misty Isle chain. Each is a full interrelated danger, intrigue, and adventure that can be woven into an entire fantasy campaigns. Classic reprint, first published in 1977. This rare dungeon kit returns. Much of it has been remastered, but the spirit of the original is intact. Convenient sheets for reference and the tracking of creatures and characters are included to play, not found in the original edition. This is actually my favorite of the 3. It's very reminiscent of Voyage of the Dawn Treader from C.S. Lewis, the Narnia, I believe, book 4, where each island is its own little situation with all kinds of intrigue and critters to deal with, and monsters and people and factions, and each is laid out in a very large hex format like this, with plenty of room for notes, or I guess, or just old eyes to be able to see it. But like I said, each one is got its own little thing going on, and you can set them up however you want. I like that even some of the water locations, like right here, is keyed so that if your players happen to sail through that area, it tells you what's going on there. And there's a lot of really weird stuff going on. Nothing too crazy. The treasure is pretty decent. Not quite as much as the Dwarven Glory, where you're possibly walking out with a 2, 3, 500,000 gold piece gems. But there's one place where there's 70 grand just lying in a pile, I guess, or maybe not in a pile, but you know what I mean. Plenty of treasure, plenty of monsters. Also, the character tracking sheets and monster tracking sheets and things like that. There's also, I wanted to show you, just some blank hex maps so that you can do your own version of this if you wanted, I guess. Draw an island or two, or a hex crawl, which is basically what this is. Maybe even technically the first hex crawl, because it's basically what you're doing is going from location to location, exploring each area and trying to solve the mysteries or complete the little quests or adventures as you go along, with lots and lots of room for ad-libbing and making it your own, doing little things here and there, because very little is, with all of these, keyed in great detail. The average is about a paragraph per location, giving you lots of opportunity to make it your own, beef up the monsters. The only thing I didn't like about it was, in the previous modules, there's a sheet that has just a running total of all the monsters and their quick stats. Instead, you have to dig through the paragraphs here. Roughly, movement is 1/4 inch is 50 to 60 minutes of foot travel, which makes most of the islands reasonably traversable in an afternoon, so you're not, stuck for weeks and weeks on a single island like my campaigns, right, guys? And because of the way it's set up, you can omit or add to it as you see fit. If you don't like an island and its theme, you can just not include it, because there's no overall map of the island chain, which I also like, because you can just pull one island out and say, okay, you come across this little island, that's it, and move on. Or you can go through the whole 9-island chain adventure. But a lot of fun, this one. While my players probably would prefer the Palace of the Vampire Queen in that it's a classic dungeon, and the Dwarven Glory is a bit of an underground hex crawl. I think this one definitely is my favorite. Just a lot of things that remind me of all the things that I love most about high seas adventures and finally going ashore. In addition to the monsters that you will encounter, on the high seas, and it's a really interesting look at what was more or less going on at the time. 1977, such a great year, but how the game was being played, what the expectations were, and I don't know exactly where this was, if this was on the east or west coast, because from my experience, there are two different play styles, and this one strikes me as more of a west coast, but I could be totally wrong, and it's just the way things were back then, because there's so many there was so little written about the game back then that you could literally go anywhere. And now that there are 2, 3, 5, 6 camps of how you should play, or how play is conducted, at least in the United States, this is a really interesting look. It really doesn't say what level this was for, or if it did, I missed that. But you've got everything from solitary encounters with 2 hit die dwarves to the ruler of this city is a 25th level monk. 25th level monk. What the? I didn't know they went up that high. In any of my experiences, they went to like 15th or 18th level. But they were making stuff up, and that's one of the things that I like about these old modules, is they had to make stuff up. It was encouraged. Now it's like run the module as is kind of mentality for a lot of people, which don't do that. Make it your own, and this one's perfect for that. And if you're looking for something on the high seas, an island or two, 6-month campaign exploring the islands, I don't know that it would take 6 months, but you could easily stretch it out that far if you like, or run just one little island at a time, as the players are going from point A to point B, and they come across a little island, and they need to stretch their legs and maybe forage for fresh food and fresh water, and get into a little trouble along the way. But there you have it, my favorite of the Wee Warriors dungeon kits. They didn't even call them modules back then. Number 3. I'll try to put the link, but you can easily find these on eBay. Like I said, for about 10 or 15 bucks. And if you're interested, pick one up. If not, you can probably find them on the high seas from the original Wee Warriors, and Because, gosh, trying to pick one of those up is a mortgage payment. Not even joking. Easily $1,900, $1,200 for one of the originals, and these are going to last you a good long time. And if you write in the margins and color in the islands like we used to do, no one's going to complain. But there you have it. Hope you guys enjoy. Have a great day. I'm going to go do some painting, and not the cool miniature kind. I gotta paint a gate for my backyard, so I'm going to get all messy and get some sun, some fresh air, touch some grass. Hope you guys get a chance to do the same. I will see you guys tomorrow over on Justin's show or Saturday night on my show. Until then, folks, have a great day, and as always, happy trails.